yet you go home later and try to redo it or do a similar question in an assignment or tutorial, and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing and you don't understand anything.
Your metal beam starts floating.
Yeah.
Electricity. Your motor starts generating electricity.
You start going faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. 100% do prepare to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And do prepare to do preparation for how to react to being overwhelmed. Like 14 assignments at one night. I finished 2. And I was like, okay, that's good. I'll go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, and I continue. I woke up tomorrow and I looked at my to-do list. I have like 16. I was like, huh.
It's this constant cycle of like, you see the hope at the end of like climbing up this mountain. The moment you get there, you go over the top and then you realize, wait, it goes up even further.
It doesn't end. All of our third year classes have like, except for one, had like an average below 50%.
Yeah.
All of the midterms. All of the midterms. You think like, oh, bro, Isaac Newton, I just never do this. I just did this. I'm the GOAT, Why is it that me and this person both finish the assignments, but this person scores better than me in the exam?
Yeah.
Our goals are the same. The system that we use to accomplish is different.
Welcome back to the Load-Bearing Thoughts podcast. This is episode 2, High School versus University, a reconstruction of your work system. We both agree that we should start by talking, with this whole reconstruction about the grading system and how they differ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one thing on top of my mind is that the grading system, the distribution of grades in university is vastly different from high school.
Yeah.
So by that I mean, so usually when you read your syllabus, and do read your syllabus, that's an important one, you will see that your exams most of the time are going to take around 40% of your whole entire grade. Your assignments are going to take around 20, your labs are around 20 as well. And then what's the other 10%? Tutorials?
Maybe tutorials or maybe some quizzes in class.
Right, yeah. So
there is still hope if you mess up everything else, but don't mess up the final.
Yes, yes, exactly. Well, basically what I was going to say. Your assignments do not matter as much, so don't go crazy over like one answer that you think is incorrect.
Yeah.
I'd rather make that mistake now, see that on my grade back, see that I made the mistake, and remember that mistake, and I will not make that mistake again in the midterm or the final. So, like we said in the previous episode, you pretty much get one shot at a lot of things, even with courses. So 50% of your course is determined by your final exam, and you get one shot at that.
That's true. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but am I correct in saying that some courses in the past that we took, the final exam was more than 50% of the grade?
Yeah.
I feel like some had 60% distribution.
I remember that, yeah.
So you can afford to partially mess up your assignments. Not saying do it, but if you do, there's always that redemption that's possible.
Mm-hmm. For me personally, I usually score, I think we have the opposite, or maybe we do, we'll find out. For me personally, I score very good on the assignments. Usually I have like a 99 or 100 on all of my assignments, because I like to check online and all that stuff to ensure that I get the most percentage out of my assignments. Same with my labs. I try to put a lot of effort into them, and with the quizzes as well. Where I fail the most is in the exam. So a lot of you will realize a phenomenon where, before the midterm or before the final, what happens is that your assignments, all your grade average will be like 90, 90, all the way until the midterm. If you did bad in the midterm, it might drop to like 80. Yeah. And then it might crawl back up a little bit, up to like 85. Yeah. And by the time you finish your final, it's going to drop to 60. Yeah. That happens. It happens
a lot more than you think.
Yes. And that's because the finals weight is so much. So do not take your initial average as a...
like you're going to get it.
Yes. Yeah. Do not take that as self-confidence.
There is a lot of instances where I've noticed people tend to see, I'm going into the final with a 93% average, Yet the final now is worth maybe 50, 60% of your grade. They write the final and they walk out with like a 72% overall. And
happens.
it's because they built this, like, as Josh just said, this self-confidence, but it's almost like a false self-confidence.
Exactly.
And then you tend to get a lot more relaxed and be like, oh, I don't need to study that hard, I'm going to get this good mark. But in reality, you don't end up with it, and then you end up very disappointed. And that's quite a big trap.
Yeah. And on the distribution of marks as well, the midterms, they, I think, are a good way to judge how you're doing.
Yeah.
If you perform well in the midterm, I think you'll perform decently in the final as well.
Normally, your midterm and your final exam, the marks correlate. I believe they correlate.
They do.
Maybe differ by maybe 5 and most 10%, but there is a big correlation. Unless you mess up the midterm, and you actually decide to study and try really hard, then there will obviously be no correlation. But most of the time, there is a very big correlation between the two.
And the reason for that is because the profs like to, well, I don't know if it is intentional, but you can tell a lot about the profs' exam style or questionnaire style by their midterm. If they have, if they tend to have a lot more theoretical questions, even numerical response, all that stuff. If you see more of that in the midterm, expect the same thing to appear in the final. Expect the midterm to be in the same style as the final exam. Professors usually don't throw curveballs. I've never seen a professor throw a curveball, like where a midterm is very different from the final.
There has been some instance though, I think maybe once or twice, where a professor, for example, is teaching the course for the first time. And
that's true.
They'll give you a midterm from another professor who was teaching it before, but then they build up like this confidence, I believe, to be like, yeah, I'm going to make my own final. And then that's when there is a bit drastic difference. But that doesn't happen often. Mainly happens in upper year courses. The first, second year courses, I believe, stay the same.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They don't really change the exam. Even from year to year, the exams in like first and second year, I believe, are very similar.
They are, yeah. Do look out for the exceptions in the upper years or with new professors.
Big disclaimer, very big disclaimer. We're not saying it is going to be the same. There's just a very good likelihood that they will be.
Yeah, so learn from that, learn from your midterm. You can learn a lot from your midterm. And yeah.
Speaking about the learning, going to office hours and then tutorials can really help you learn. Especially before a midterm, maybe 2 weeks before a midterm or a final, because a lot of the times, tutorials especially, the tutorial before the midterm or the final, they tend to just do a review on just the topics covered in the midterms and final.
That's exactly true.
Which is really good for reinforcing. So like if you are studying the topics beforehand, and let's just say you have the tutorial a day or two before the midterm, you can go there and they can give you questions and you can sort of gauge your understanding and ask questions where there may be gaps in your studying.
Most of academia has this issue of the professor has a lot of content they need to teach and there's only so much lecture time. So what they do is they try to cram as much key information there is into the lecture, and a lot of times that leads to a lot of knowledge gaps in the material that they teach. This is not because they don't want to teach you. They would love to teach you. That's because they don't have time in the lecture. So the way to mitigate this is, like Suraj said, by going to tutorials or office hours. Tutorials are, TAs are very good. They're very generous people. Like you said before, they are often willing to stay, 5-10 minutes after the tutorial ends to teach you a concept that you don't know. I am more of a shy person. I don't like to ask a bunch of questions during a tutorial, especially if I think I'm stupid. So what happens is, if you're in the same boat, I would recommend that at the end of the tutorial, before the TA leaves, you can go up to the TA and ask, there's this thing that I don't understand. Can you clarify this for me? 90% of the time, they'll be more than happy to help you out.
I just want to add something to that. Josh just mentioned that, it may feel like it's a stupid question at times. This may feel like very generic advice where everybody tells you no question is stupid, but it really is true. Because at the end of the day, you may feel like it's a stupid question, but I can guarantee you about 90% of the time, there's somebody else or a few other people in the room that are thinking the same thing but don't have the courage to ask the question.
And I think that it is also better to clarify that information in your head, because most of the time in a lecture, it's like a drinking from a fire hose. There's so much information being dumped into your brain. Most of the time, you might think you understand it, but like the deeper you look into like how the equation works, the less it makes sense. Like, why is this the denominator? Why is there a negative sign over there? Like, am I missing something? Why like, it should obviously be a positive sign. Stuff like that. Feel free to ask, even if it might be very stupid. It might be like a very, very, very fundamental concept that you're missing. Yeah.
On the topic of that as well, with the whole, when a professor goes through a question in the lecture and goes through showing you each step and you follow it and you get this false, same as like this false self-confidence that we talked about a bit earlier. You get this false belief that, oh, that's so easy, I can do it just like that. But all you're actually doing is copying the professor. You didn't try to do it yourself independently. Only once you can do it independently, you are competent to solve the questions, right? Because there's also this big thing where I've noticed you tend to go to lectures, do a really difficult question with a professor guiding you through it, and you believe, oh, this is so simple, I can do it. Yet you go home later and try to redo it, or do a similar question in an assignment or tutorial, and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and you don't understand anything.
Your metal beam starts floating. You know, electricity. Your motor starts generating electricity.
You start going faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. The force on this beam is 2 trillion newtons. I don't think.
That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that happens.
Oh, speaking about numbers, may seem stupid, but always double check the calculations on the calculator. Sometimes you may input an extra number in there, and then that's why you're getting a few trillion as the answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on that as well, I feel like we're going off a tangent here, but it is useful information. Writing a Z or Z.
Yes.
It looks like a 2. I've made that mistake numerous times, like so many times, more times than I like to admit. When you write a Z or a Z, put a line in between it.
That's true.
So that you can tell it's not a 2. Yeah.
Speaking about that, there's also been instances in an exam, like, okay, if you manage to get through the exam quite quickly, don't just leave. You better going through it again, because there are a lot of times where I personally have finished an exam, gone through it and realized, oh, I just skipped a few lines of working, or wait, that's meant to be 200, but I wrote 20.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's like stupid typos like this
Exactly.
that'll end up with you losing marks, because the person marking it's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. How did they get the right answer? The method is completely not right. Or it doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah. And so that's a good one.
Adding to that, I just thought about it as well, is the professors always say, just write all your working down. Don't just write the final answers. And even though they say that, and it seems like logical, like you're probably watching this or listening to this right now and thinking, yeah, obviously I'm going to write down all of the working for this. But in reality, there's been a lot of instances where I've seen even some of my friends lose a lot of marks because they skipped most of the working and just write the final answers. And then when they go try to discuss it with the professor to get method marks, the professor tends to tell them but there is no method here. It's just you try to write down a bit of steps and then just the final answer. I can't give you anything for that.
That's very painful, and it's also a flaw of the system. Because you might have a different method, a faster method, a better method of finding the same answer, but the prof specifies that you must use this method. I've had that happen to a friend before. I've had that happen in high school before, where it's what do you call this? Quadratic factorization. Right? The cross method. Obviously, most people use the cross method, but sometimes the prof wants you to write the a square or whatever. The whole equation.
Go the long way.
Over 2a, that equation, the quadratic equation, the whole thing out. But that's the same situation of what's happening here.
I just had a really interesting thought about somebody we can get in a future episode to come speak about this.
Methods?
Oh, this whole thinking differently and a different approach to everything.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a very interesting guest if we can manage to get them.
Yeah. Anything else, or shall we move on?
I think we should move on. Let me look at the next topic. Should we go on about that? Do you believe that's worthwhile?
Workload?
Yeah. Let's go on about it. Like, considering this episode is titled High School versus University.
Sure, absolutely.
My experience, I don't know if you relate to me or not, but high school and university, actually, I'm just gonna speak for everyone because I think it is very true, especially in engineering. The workload in university is probably 10x, 20x more than high school. Like high school, you might do a few chapters every few weeks or something like that. University, you might do 200 pages, 3 chapters in a single lecture. That's an hour and a half long. Yeah?
Have you taken IB in high school?
No.
I've known people who take an IB, and I've taken a tiny bit of the content myself.
Yeah.
But it is, if you've taken IB, it's sort of like the initial shock that you experience when you first took IB, where you had like to write IAs and all that stuff, those reports, and so much more work that you have to do. It's the initial shock is quite similar.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, even if you think you've got it, even if you think you have a good system in place, 100% do prepare to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And do prepare to do preparation for how to react to being overwhelmed with so much work.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Expect yourself to, be shocked. So so when all the work piles up, it won't be
when you have like 20 things to do on Canvas.
Not even joking.
Yeah.
Not even joking. Like, yeah. Another thing that happens is to me as well. It's kind of like a funny story. I had like 14 assignments at one night. I finished 2. And I was like, okay, that's good. I'll go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow and I continue. I woke up tomorrow and I looked at my to-do list. I have like 16. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
That is the thing. The system tends to also keep you in this constant cycle of work. Like you'll tell yourself like, oh, okay, 2 assignments due on Friday. It's only let's just say Monday today. I'll get through it. By the time you get to Wednesday, you're gonna have like 6 other assignments there due on the following Monday, or maybe even due on the weekend sometimes. And when you get through all of that, you just end up with like 10 new assignments you need to do. It's this constant cycle of like, you see the hope at the end of like climbing up this mountain. The moment you get there, you go over the top and then you realize, wait, it goes up even further.
It doesn't end.
And the worst part is when you have finals and midterms and you have, specifically midterms, because midterms, okay, in first year you tend to write them close together. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. But okay, in third year, it sort of spreads out. And that's not necessarily nice because you may have a midterm this week and a midterm next week and a one the following week. But those professors aren't really concerned about your other courses exactly. They're going to give you an assignment even if it's due on the same day as the midterm, because it's not theirs. So they don't really account for it.
It is very common for profs to go like in the middle of a lecture. Oh, where did everybody go? Do you guys have another midterm today or something?
They just know. They have this ability to just know.
Yeah, they do know a midterm is happening because less people showed up to their class, but they do not know beforehand that the midterm is happening.
Yeah.
Rarely, very, very, very rarely, unless a student brings it up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can convince them though to move something by a day or 2.
Yeah. If they're free, they'll
If like you're taking a course where everybody has a midterm on that day, you can most likely go speak to them and be like, yeah, your assignment is due, but all of us or 80% of us is writing a midterm that day. Is it possible to move it to the next day or the following Monday? Or, they tend to be lenient if you speak to them and warn them ahead of time. Don't like try to warn them the day before. Speak to them maybe half a week before or a week before.
One of the first things that we do when the term starts, that we're going to do in a few days, We go look at the syllabus. We're going to do this. And we're going to look at the syllabus. We put them in our Google Calendar or whatever task management system you use.
Yeah.
And we look at which days conflict, which midterm dates conflict.
Yeah.
And we look, these two are stacking together. Let's go talk to the prof. Let's see if we can change them.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to talk to them, because you need to remember that the prof is actually incentivized to see a better grade. So don't think that, they won't be willing to move the midterm. If they can get better performance out of you, then they will want to move the midterm.
Yeah.
So go speak to them about
because at the end of the day, the professor wants you to learn what they're teaching.
Exactly.
They want you to learn the concepts that they're teaching.
Yep.
They don't want you to just like cram it, pass the course and forget.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very big cycle. I think with the whole of academia, you just cram, pass, forget.
Unfortunately, yeah. That's kind of what happens now.
Yeah. So if you ask for more time, they're more likely willing to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just give them a bit of notice as well. You don't want to be, as I said earlier, asking the night before, the day before.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give them a bit of time to plan, because they most likely going to have to also shift other assignments or make a compromise somewhere, or think about it for a bit.
Yeah.
And that is where time management comes in, because this is all just time management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking about the time management, how many hours of sleep do you sleep on average when we're in uni?
Jeez, that's really hitting me with this one. You're really hitting me with this one.
Yep.
All right. On the weekdays, usually for third year exclusively, I usually stay in EMB until 11, 12, 1 sometimes. Then I go home, and sometimes, and most of my classes are like 9 or 10. So what's that? 1. I go to sleep at 1. I wake up at 9.
Yeah.
But I have to go back and shower and eat, so minus another hour.
Yeah, 8.
And I'm scrolling on my phone.
I feel like,
so you can lose another hour.
What's that?
6.
Probably between 6, 5, 6 hours.
6 hours is what I try to get.
Yeah.
Is the standard I try to get. But like 8 hours is the correct standard.
Yeah.
6 hours is my standard, which is incorrect. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to get like 5, 6 hours.
Yeah. But I think we can both agree that like if you want good performance, let's say you have a midterm tomorrow, 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
At least.
You definitely don't want to be pulling an all-nighter before an exam. That is very
the
not
worst
good.
case scenario.
Especially if you pull an all-nighter and you pull up to the exam and you're like half asleep, a zombie. You're not going to be able to think. Your brain needs sleep to think.
I'll tell you that's exactly how I failed my course. I failed the course. How it happened was, like we mentioned earlier, my average was very good.
Yep.
It was like 89, and the course is not hard. It was genuinely not hard. It was the RQ4 methods.
Numerical methods.
Numerical methods. It was genuinely not hard. It was just a bunch of methods I have to learn, and they're very interesting, to be honest with you, because it's trying to solve for. Anyways, they're very interesting stuff. I'm very incentivized to learn it. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
However, the two exams were stacked next to each other. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
Yeah. It was like we finished an exam at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
Yeah. And
then the other exam is at 8 a.m. for the afternoon.
Second year special. That is a second year special right there. They love doing that. They did that to us. They abused us. Sometimes we wrote 3 days in a row. It's like write one afternoon, write the next evening, write the next morning. I think that's where that came in.
Yeah. And I stayed up the whole night writing the formula sheet. Because I think that course is all about the formula sheet and like how good your formula sheet is for the methods you're trying to use. Stayed up all night writing the formula sheet. I got it done just in time, and my brain was dead. And it's just, when I showed up to the exam, it's just kind of like, imagine like a bowl of soup, and then you start tilting over, and it just starts spilling onto the floor. That was how it felt. That was kind of graphic, but yeah.
Yeah. No.
Do sleep before your exam. It will fail you a course. It happens.
At all costs as well, avoid making your cheat sheet
the
night before the exam. I'm going to say this again. Cheat sheet does not mean actual cheating. This has to be a disclaimer. It's more like a formula sheet a professor allows you to make.
Yes.
Yeah. And the better you make your cheat sheet, the better you will do in these exams when the professors allow you to make the formulas or the formula sheet. Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't want to be making it the night before, making mistakes, writing, oh, the equation should have a square in it, but you just completely forgot about it. Or this should be in brackets, but you didn't put the brackets.
Especially with numerical methods.
Yeah.
Because there's so many exponents in their equations.
My advice on that is like, you want to make it a few days before, and then when you're practicing for the exam, like doing and redoing the assignments or redoing the tutorials, you're going to want to use that cheat sheet and try and actually, apply it and see, is there a gap here, or is the equation wrong, it's not matching, and then make the corrections before you go into a final. You don't want to be showing up to a final with a formula sheet you just made, never tried it before, half of it could be wrong, and just hope for the best. That's not the correct way to do it.
It is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. On time management and workload, how would you, let's say you're given 10, 20 assignments spread out over 2 weeks or a week and a half.
Yeah.
How would you do this? It is more than you could handle, right?
Yeah.
This is sort of like the worst case scenario that all new engineers have to face.
The way I would approach it is, I would look at them. If they are like an assignment worth 1%, that's going to the bottom of the list, right? I would look at when are they due? Are they all due on the same day, or are they due?
Some are on the same day, some are on different days.
Yeah, I'd probably arrange them from what's due closest to me and what's due furthest away from me. And if there's like something worth 20%, like, I don't know, a report,
yeah,
I would put a lot more time into that. You need to look at how much it's worth and rank it and see what you can manage. Because you don't want to spend 5 hours trying to do an assignment worth 2% of your grade when you could have spent the 5 hours writing the report that's worth 20%.
I agree. And I think more to add to that, it's more than the percentage. I think there's also a knowledge aspect of it.
Yeah.
If it's an assignment that's like completely brain dead, you know, like it's basic integrals or something, you can solve it. It's like, well, what's the integral of sine x?
Yeah.
Then, you probably want to not care about that assignment as much.
Yeah, it's not going to add much value to your life at the end of the day, especially when you're learning for the finals.
Or for example, if you have statics and a big statics assignment, a huge question that you don't know how to solve, I would definitely think to myself, okay, this is going to take a lot more time for me to solve.
Yeah.
I'll go do this guy first.
You need to be very methodological with all of this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I do time management, I don't think it's correct. But if I had too much stuff on my plate, I sacrifice time in my in other parts of my life.
Yeah.
Such as eating. That's a
bad one, but
that's a bad one. That's a big thing that a lot of people do. I sacrifice eating, I sacrifice sleeping.
Yeah, sleep is a very common one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a good topic to talk about with eating.
Yeah.
How I do it, and this is bad, and I've been trying to change, is that I order takeout, because if I cook, it's going to take me 15 minutes at least, if it's like a cup noodle or something, and 20 minutes or 30 minutes if I want to cook like a full basic meal, spaghetti, meatballs. I have to wash the plates and whatnot. That's half an hour gone. That's half an hour I could have spent on the report due tonight.
I want to add some input into this before you continue. I think it's okay to order food. Maybe not every day.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like it's more applicable, well, for me, more when I'm writing exams for like the 2 or 3 weeks, because I'd much rather be sitting at my desk studying than trying to cook something.
I remember that on that one call, we talked about exactly this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd much rather, spend that time working than, washing a plate, chopping up some vegetables.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself, oh God, how do I write that part of my report?
Another interesting thing is there's a lot of studies going on about, well, it has been for a while, the types of food you're eating and also your energy. Yeah. That's I'll do some more research, and I think it'll be worthwhile for us to speak about it in a future episode.
I'm doing it completely wrong, but I totally agree, because the kind of foods I eat are just pizza,
Yeah.
Take
Yeah,
out.
you love pizza.
It is the most time efficient food to consume.
That's fair.
It gives you the most amount of like carbs and
Yeah.
to keep you awake, that kind of to keep you moving.
Yeah, we will have an episode in the future where we combined what I researched with regarding to this food and the energy and that stuff. We can combine that with what we talked about in the previous episode where we said we'd make a future one about it, caffeine. We could make a whole episode about
On
food and uni food and
living habits in uni. That could be a good thing.
That's coming up in the future, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yep. Food is a big point to note.
Yeah. And on another topic here that we have on our list is burnout. Did we discuss that? I love that sigh. I hope the mic got that. That's exactly the sound of burnout right there.
Burnout. It happens around the midterm, which is when you're 2 weeks and 3 weeks into your term.
Yeah.
Signs of a burnout, engineers do not appear in their natural habitats anymore of the lecture room.
Yeah.
You notice that there's a graph.
Yeah.
When the year first starts, there are a bunch of people coming. Everybody is excited. Everybody's like locked in. I'm going to do so good in this course, blah, blah, blah. People start to come less and less. Midterm hits. Boom. Nobody shows up anymore. Why? They got hit with their first midterm. Most of you, most of the new students who are coming in are not going to do good. I think that's a fair statement to say.
Especially your first midterm. Like you're going to be in for a shock when you get the mark back.
We genuinely hope you do well, but like expect the
worst. Expect the worst.
Yeah.
And when you get that back, if you did well and good. If you didn't do well, you need to learn to deal with it and overcome it and be like, okay, I'm going to do better in the future. I'm going to study. I'm not going to just say, oh, this is too hard or I don't like the professor. I'm going to give up, because that's just making excuses. And I don't think making excuses is going to improve your mark whatsoever.
Yeah. A lot of people think that, oh, it's over. My GPA is bombed.
It's Jover.
It's Jover. Yeah. In a sense that is true. If you're aiming for like a 90% transfer to Vancouver or whatnot, you have to lock in on your midterms and your finals. Those are the two ones that you really have to lock in on.
Yeah.
But it is not Jover because some professors have a policy where if you absolutely got destroyed on your midterm, they are willing to transfer that way to your final. So let's say if you're already locked in on transferring to Vancouver, something happened, you broke up with your girlfriend, you partied too hard the night before.
You didn't sleep and you showed up and it didn't work out.
Yeah. You can go to your prof, say, hey, I sit in the whatever front row of your class. You know me.
Just be honest with them, just be honest.
I messed up. You know, could you potentially, if I do go in the final, could you potentially transfer that way to my final?
Yeah.
I really need this because I really want to go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think most professors are.
Yeah.
If you're genuine and they can see that you're hardworking, if you're not sitting in the back.
you tried throughout the entire term. Like don't go do this if you've been getting like failing or being really bad the entire term.
Missing assignments every day.
Literally, because then when the professor pulls you up on the computer, they're gonna see like, oh, this wasn't handed in. Oh, you were getting like 40% from week 2. Like, did that improve over time? Oh no, it stayed constant and got worse. Then they most likely gonna be like, yeah, you did this to yourself.
It's like asking anybody for help, right? Like make sure that the other person is like, make sure that you appear like decent in the other person's mind. Yeah.
Another thing about that is generally when the entire class does badly, I think we had this happen in third year quite a few times. When the entire class...
Brother. All of our third year classes have except for one, had an average below 50%.
Yeah.
All of the midterms. All of the midterms.
People were failing left, right, and center. It was bad.
It was unbelievably cooked. It was just insanely cooked our third year. Sorry.
Yeah. After that happens, normally a week after or something, they'll send out a message, or like a week before the final, they'll send out an email or message saying, yeah, so looking at these marks, I'm willing to maybe change the midterm to be weighted less and your final to be weighted more if you improve by 10%, as an example.
Exactly.
Now, if you got like 40 or 30% in the midterm, you need 50 at least in the final, so the reweighting will occur. Like, they just want everybody to pass.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's true. So it's not hopeless.
Yeah.
Don't take your first failure as like, oh my gosh, my whole world is collapsing. I've seen a lot of that on the UBC Reddit, where like as the first midterm hits.
If you
like,
think your whole world is collapsing in first year,
oh
wait till
boy.
you get to third year.
Oh boy.
First year, it's like, imagine being in a wok, just on like a gas stove. You're just being cooked, right? Second year. Second year, it's like, we'll just add some petrol into this, right? When you get to third year, you're still in the wok, you still have petrol, but now it's like we've added jet fuel,
Yeah.
It's how you are literally your bone is starting to melt.
You're atomizing, like
yeah.
Your particles are like fusing, fusion is happening, hydrogen is turning into helium.
But you're becoming one with the metal.
Yeah, you're becoming one with the universe. You start to question your whole life. Yeah. Whenever you solve a question, you think like you are the engineering god. Like you think like, oh, bro, Isaac Newton, I just never do this. I just did this. I'm the GOAT.
Like I know personally from third year. Sometimes I spend like 2 days trying to answer one question in the assignments and like 350 controlled systems. Don't be surprised if you spend like a whole 2 days, a week pondering on one question. You solve the rest and like you just end up thinking about the one question. Like, is this even right?
I feel like there's a sorry to interrupt. I feel like there's an unspoken rule that 315 like is the course.
Is the course
in your whole engineering career. In their whole engineering, like first year, second year, all of your years.
Yeah, you're gonna hear people tell you about this course like it's literal hell.
It was literal hell,
but I enjoyed it.
You know what? Yeah, no, it got better.
After you learn the basics and the fundamental. Okay, so then you know what? We're gonna skip to third year for a little moment. I think it'll be worthwhile.
Yeah.
315. The first few weeks are going to be confusing. Like, you're going to go to the lecture and going to be like, what is going on? Did we even learn this? And the answer to all of that is probably not, but they're going to think you did. I think they're going to blame it on maybe potentially other courses and say you learned in that course, but maybe you didn't. But after you learn the basics, the rest of the course is actually really enjoyable. But understanding and learning and grasping the basics is the really difficult part in that course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the math is just so
deep.
And
so deep.
It's different. It's not something that you would ordinarily have done in the previous years.
It would not. It's one of those courses where you're like, it's one of those maps where you go like, okay, why does this happen? It's because of this thing. Yeah. Why does that happen? It's because it just branches down so web. Deep. Yeah. You got imaginary numbers. You got calculus, you got Laplace transforms.
Yeah.
How does Laplace transforms even work? How does that work? Oh, then you dive down into all this. Like it just branches so far. It is a really, really.
What are those diagrams? The box ones called?
Bode, Nyquist.
No, not Bode, Nyquist. Oh, when we model the system. Oh, okay. Wait. I got this. So the course kind of structures by let me teach you basic advanced math. Then it goes into let's model systems. Then it goes into how do we derive equations for the systems, which you also use from the basic math. And then you learn about optimization. That is the course in a summary.
My summary of the course can be summarized by one picture. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. We're gonna put it up here in post.
It'll be over here somewhere.
It'll be over
somewhere.
It'll be somewhere
in this digital space.
You will see a line kind of like fluctuating. That's the entire course, trust me. And that image has genuinely helped so many people. Like, I was helping a friend study in the final. He was like, what's the I term? What's the D term? I was like, brother, come here. I'm pulling up this GIF or GIF, whatever. whatever,
Yes,
however you
yes,
pronounce
yes,
it.
yes.
And then it's like this line fluctuating, and he's like, oh, it's like
The GIF is goated.
the gift is goaded. It's like he has seen God, like enter his body. It's just genuinely amazing. Yeah, that is a hell of a
GIF
course.
is amazing. The GIF is amazing.
That is a hell of a course. Yeah.
On that topic, remember, guys, Discord servers.
Oh,
Whiteboard in Discord server will save you and a lot of other people.
yes.
You just need one person that knows it, and you need to give them a whiteboard.
I think third year is the most amount of like
Yeah.
teamwork that we've
True.
ever done. Like all of the mechanicals and electricals are in the same Discord call trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
That's another interesting topic we can discuss here is there's this big divide that I noticed where some engineering students love being or meeting in person, right? Like you meet in person, while I know us and our friends, we tend to prefer being like, yeah, we'll just get on a Discord call and screen share. Do you think there's any big pros and cons to each?
Definitely. So if it's like, I think Discord calls have their limitations. For example, if I'm explaining a very abstract concept, it's hard. Like sometimes I would even say, okay, you would even say to me, like I will have to come and explain it to you in person.
Yeah.
Because like some stuff, it's just much easier to communicate in person.
True.
But for most assignment questions,
That's pretty chill, I think. I think it's pretty fine for the most part.
Yeah, for Discord, using a Discord, you're fine for the most part.
I personally prefer using Discord over meeting in person. And that's solely because I can be on it at maybe 11 at night or 1 in the morning with other people. There's no like time limit.
Right,
There's no zone. I can wake up in the morning and get on a call and wait for others to join.
380.
Yeah, 380. And group projects and writing reports. Discord will save your life.
It will.
It will, yeah.
Yes, but however, I think there's one big disadvantage Discord has is when you're making like executive decisions or like when you're assigning people who you don't know roles and tasks, and when people are like not completing their work and you want to speak to them, do it in person. I think being able to see the person's body language can tell you a lot about like how they're actually thinking. Yeah.
On that note, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment below of what you guys think works best, the digital space or the physical space. So Discord or meeting in person. If you are listening to this podcast, shoot us an email at
Bro for Gore. We'll put it up.
Yo, I literally forgot. Give me one moment.
We can put it up.
Loadbearingthoughts@gmail.com. Send us an email.
Bro is engagement farming. Bro is getting that engagement.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's an interesting topic here that I think Josh wants to speak about a bit. He read this book or has been reading this book called Atomic Habits.
Yes.
It's quite a popular book.
It is quite a popular book. There are a few points that I would like to point out.
Yeah.
That I think this book is good for young adults who are trying to figure out how to structure their life. I'll bring a preview of the first few chapters, and then we can maybe talk about this book at a later date because I think there's a lot of content to dive into. But the first few chapters, I think a good line that I took away from that is winners and losers have the same goals.
Yeah.
But then there are still winners and losers.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I think when it comes to what you just said, it's we may have the same goals, but whether you accomplish them or not is different. Right? That is what differentiates between you won or you lost, But it also comes down to, I think, we may have the same goals, but how are you approaching the goals? What is your path to achieving the goals? Are you just saying, oh, I wanna be an astronaut, right? As an example. But somebody else may have the same thing. I want to be an astronaut. Like if I take Josh, let's just say we both want to be an astronaut. But I have it just written down somewhere. I want to be an astronaut. But Josh does research, goes to maybe get a pilot's license, maybe goes to some programs, applies to maybe work at NASA to work his way there. He's taking active steps. He's being proactive in achieving the goals as compared to I'll write it down on a piece of paper at the beginning of the year and leave it there.
I'll plan it all out, but I'll never do it.
Yeah. It's all about taking the first steps. Like this podcast. We can talk about the podcast.
That's true.
We were discussing this
That's true.
podcast for like a month. We would bring it up in casual conversation. Be like, yo, we should start a podcast. And then we started, thinking about what we would talk about it. Then we created the document that I currently keep pointing at, yeah? And we ended up adding to it. And then when we came back, we were like, let's do it. Let's be proactive about it. Let's actually do it. Let's stop talking about it. Let's do. And that is I see a big problem where a lot of people come up with these ideas and goals, but they never say, let's take the leap of faith. Let's try.
I totally agree.
Because you're never going to know if it's going to work out unless you try.
Yeah. I agree. And you got to do it with the right people as well.
True.
Yeah. The book says that it basically focuses on systems.
Yeah.
So people who are successful and people who are not successful, winner and losers, they both have the same goal.
Yeah.
They both might have the same amount of mental incentive or mental motivations to accomplish this goal.
Yeah.
But the difference lies in the fact that they have different systems. And the book focuses a lot on systems. So another key line that I really liked was, you do not fall to the level of how well you set your goals.
Yeah.
You fall to the level of your system.
That's a very interesting topic.
You can make
I like that.
You can set a goal for, you can do your whatever traditional super outdated SMART goal, specific, timely,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But if you build a system or a structure to incentivize you to do these actions that you're talking about, that is a much better method. That is fundamentally what you'll fall onto.
Yeah.
When you want to achieve a thing, right? And I think the book also talks about goals in general as being a very flawed concept.
Yeah.
Goals are twofold. They are a one-time thing. If we're talking about a singular goal, I want to score 90%. Let's say the traditional SMART goal, right? I want to score 90% on my aerospace course in fourth year. That's my goal. Okay. What is the problem with that? The problem with that is it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
So what about term 2? Are you still going to continue scoring 90% in term 2?
Yeah.
What your goal is, or what you want to become as a person, which is the key thing here, not a goal, is that you want to be you want to perform better, you want to be a better student. However, if you just set a goal, it's a one-time thing.
So I think what you're trying to say is more along the lines of, they're one-time things and then they are life things.
Exactly.
Yeah? It's all about the scope.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to become a person who scores good at who is a good student, who's good at studying.
So you'd rather grow as a person as compared to a once-off
goal.
Yeah.
Goals still have their advantages. They can be. I think goals are helpful when you have a bigger picture. But if you don't have a bigger picture and you just set a goal, I think it's counterproductive because it's very short term. And after the goal ends, you get that satisfaction, and that's it. A lot of people have this problem where they accomplish the goals and that
then
was
it's
it.
like, okay, it's done.
Okay, I don't feel happy, Like I finished my goal. I did what I set out to do, but
then what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah. No,
that's because you don't have a system. You only have a goal.
So I follow that.
The book really talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it is a good book, a good read, for people who are transitioning from high school to university to figure out I don't know what's happening anymore. Go read the book. I think it will be helpful. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a pretty easy book to get your hands on. To everyone out there, it's quite a popular one. Mm-hmm. It's quite a popular one. And I love the way we talked about the instant gratification, because one of the next topics after it says Josh book is delayed versus instant gratification.
Exactly. Let's get on to that.
Exactly. Yeah, I fully support that. The idea I thought about this when I was writing some of this up was the impact of people copying answers for an assignment compared to independently coming up with their own method, their own thought, independent thought. And one is instant gratification, if you just copy this solution, versus delayed gratification, where you're going to do well later on if you study the content, develop it your own way, dissect the problem yourself, as compared to somebody else has done it, like your friend, and now I'm just going to copy it and submit it.
Exactly. That's the thing that we talked about, right? Your goal is to finish the assignment.
Yeah.
Why is it that me and this person both finish the assignment, but this person scores better than me in the exam?
Yeah.
Our goals are the same. The system that we use to accomplish is different. I copied the answer straight from my friend.
Yeah.
He went on to figure out, oh, what's the equation I have to use for this question? Why do I have to use this equation? What are the other cases in this question? What are the other equations I have to use in those cases?
Yeah.
They figured out how to do the question intuitively. However, you just copied. So you accomplish the same goal, but it's, again, you fall into your system.
Yeah. I like that. It's always going to be better long-term delayed gratification. It's always going to be better compared to instant
exactly. Don't copy answers is what we're saying here. Really go and try to figure it out. You will most definitely fuck yourself in the long run.
Delayed gratification will always take more time, even in accomplishing it. Like discovering the solution by yourself. But when it comes to the final, you're going to be thanking yourself that I didn't copy it.
You saved yourself time.
Yeah. Because now you're not going to be trying to be like, oh, looking back at this assignment, practicing for the final, how did I actually get that? Your brain's not going to be able to figure it out because you didn't come up with it. You just copied it. And then you're probably going to spend 2-3 hours trying to figure out what actually happened, when you should have done that weeks ago, not at the final stage.
A problem when I first applied this concept was that I genuinely didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
I think a good way to deal with this is, let's say you have this question, you didn't know, you genuinely have no idea.
Yeah.
Like it's giving you all sorts of crazy numbers. You know, like there's information here, information there. None of it adds up to one equation. None of it fits into one equation. Well, what I would do is try to make a note of my line of thought. So I know I made a mistake. I know if I have, in the real exam situation, if I faced this question, I would have done it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So here's my line of thought. Right. Make that very, very, very clear in your mind. Because they gave me this value, I'm converting it into I don't know, this unit. I'm dividing it by kilograms to unitize it, like or make it massless for this other equation here. That's why I think we could put this variable in there, and maybe I can get other variables from here and then put it into a full equation and maybe have the answer, right? Yeah. But and at that point, I feel like only when you do that, then you can allow yourself to look at the answer key.
True. Or
because you have made a genuine attempt, and when you look at the answer key, you think to yourself, that's smart.
Yeah.
I could have done this.
Yeah.
And you know, when you come back to that question, you will think to yourself, because you're still going to fall on your initial logic.
You'll see where the problem was with what you thought versus how it should be done.
Right, and you'll remember, that's a smart way to do it.
Another interesting thing about this is sometimes you may find a solution that gives you the exact same answers with a completely different method. And you know, it's kind of crazy when you show other people, because they'll keep telling you, no, you're going to do it this way and this way. But, you know, when you find another way, it becomes quite fun.
It is very fun.
Especially with math.
Yeah. I remember in the mechanism course.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that question. It was like an assembly line question, and there's a bunch of circles. There was I think we both did it the same way, but then the prof wanted us to do it.
He did it differently.
He did it differently, and he did it a longer way. And I thought, and I think we had the same situation where I was like, okay, is this method correct? Am I doing it wrong? I went to his office hour. I asked him, and he was like, that's a very smart way of doing it. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You know, and firstly, you feel good that you figured it out in a smarter way.
Yeah.
And secondly, you also learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the professor, as an example, is always going to show you the solution that's there in the textbook or the way they thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could think about it differently, that is the whole purpose of final exams. They're trying to give you a question you've never seen before and be like, how do you solve it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can think of different ways to solve it, that's really good for you.
That is. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on to the final topic, I think, today. Yeah.
Let's go.
And that is the importance of meeting people that, what's the word for this? Finding your people. That is the right word for this.
That's the right word.
Finding your people. Because when you find your people, I believe okay, I met Josh when in second year. And ever since I met you, I feel like we just kept on pushing each other to do things, right? To do your best, we can make the project better. We can not rush this. Like, as an example, just now, before we started recording,
Yes.
I was about to publish the first episode. Because right now we're recording this and the first episode is edited, but we didn't publish it. I was rushing the publication. I was like, let's publish it. I'm going to publish it. Uploaded it. Let's publish it. And Josh was like, no. Let's wait till later today. We'll make a good thumbnail and we will publish it. Which is the correct thing to do. But if I didn't have Josh or somebody else, like as an example, I would have just rushed it and then probably had to deal with a lot of issues later on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you need to find people that you can relate to, maybe have some similarities or hobbies that you can talk about, because you don't want to only just be school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can push each other to do your best. You can go have a life outside of Eng if that's what you want. That is very...
I think that's what we all want.
That's what we all want but can't achieve.
That's the elusive...
Yeah.
The elusive, that on and off switch. That like, high grades, no social life.
Yeah.
Social life, no high grades.
Yeah. But it does allow it. Maybe in the holidays or the weekends, you can be like, oh, let's go there. Let's do this. It does happen.
Yeah, we should. The thing where like last year we went out with the boys every beginning of the year.
We'll do it. I spoke to the person that joined our Discord call. I don't want to mention their name right now.
Yeah.
Last night, and
hell yeah.
Yeah. We're thinking in the near future.
Okay, cool.
Probably
nice
in the next few days.
Yeah.
But now the question becomes, how do you do it? How do you make friends, Josh? How do you do it?
I feel like that was all right. On my sort of like experience in this is sort of like initially when I joined, I don't talk a lot. I'm very introverted. I'm shy.
Yeah.
But like
once you get to know him though, he's the complete opposite of shy.
Yeah. Too much, a bit too much sometimes, I think.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a bit over, and you have to tell him like, "Yo, you need to calm down.
I gotta relax sometimes.
We need to take a step back and look at it."
Yeah. Initially, I was worried, right? But the thing with engineering is it's very magical. You're all very trauma bonded. Like, I can go up to some guy. And like, yo, do you do this? Nah, that was so hard, bro. How do you do on the midterm? Yeah. Yo, this question, bro, I had no idea how to do it. Yeah, me too. Dude, how can the prof do this to us? Like.
Yo, some questions you will remember. We're going into fourth year. I guarantee you, we could probably remember some questions that gave us nightmares from first, second, and third year that we're probably never gonna forget. Yeah.
310.
Yeah. Sometimes you will meet people by when you are, what's the word for this? You could be studying for an exam in the library and somebody may walk past you and see that you're doing a question and they just tried it and they couldn't do it and they may come up to you and be like, yo, can you
That's quite common.
Show me how you do it? Yeah. It is extremely common, especially the days leading up to the exam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get to meet like interesting people that way.
You could, yes.
Another way is, well, of course you're going to attend your lecture because we told you to be consistent about it. Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I think we talked about it. You will definitely meet people because you tend to go to a lecture, sit down in one place on the first day, and then every other time you go back to the lecture, you tend to sit at least like in a similar area.
Yeah.
So you are bound to meet the same similar people.
It's like on day one, you like.
Yeah, you pick a spot and then you end up at that spot unless something happens.
You nod your head like, hey, what's up? And then day two is like, yo, how's it going? Hey, good. And day three, you're like dabbing each other up.
True. And sometimes professors push you into doing like, oh, speak to the person next to you. on like the first or second lecture. Speak to the person next to you, or let's do a group question where you have to answer a question in a group, and it's like, oh, get into like the people, 5 people like in front and behind you, and then you end up meeting people, getting to know their names.
That's exactly how I met Siraj.
Yeah.
In English class. We were
second year English.
Yeah. I think I knew you existed at the time through the guy who's working there right now in the building.
Oh yeah.
I knew you from him, I think. And then
yeah, you knew of me but didn't know me.
Yeah, I never spoke to you.
I knew of you as well because I'd seen you, but I never spoke to you.
Yeah.
That's quite a common thing, by the way, where you'll see a lot of people throughout the years, and you'll be in like the same lectures, same labs, but you know of them, but you never speak
to them. Like you recognize each other.
Yeah, like if you see them, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that this person is doing the exact same thing I'm studying, but you never speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's quite awkward for me to just go up to someone and say, "Hey, I've seen you in class. How are you doing?"
Yeah.
So usually when you get the opportunity for group projects or whatnot, feel free to make small talk. Like, and it's not like hard to find topics for small talk either, because you're so trauma bonded. You're just gonna go like, "Yo, how do you do on that midterm?
Yeah.
Do you do that assignment yet?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do this question, bro? That was so hard. Yo, you know this? Yo, can you actually teach me? If you don't mind, like."
No,
it's easy to make small talk.
Yeah.
Want to know something crazy? We don't even play any video games in common. We didn't even meet through video games.
I've tried playing your War Thunder game, and you tried playing CS.
Yeah, exactly. And we both suck at each other's video games.
Yeah. I cannot play War Thunder to save my life. I just get blown up. And Josh cannot shoot straight in CS to save his life.
I cannot, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also on that topic, you can meet people through playing video games. That could be a way that...
I think that's the most common method.
Or engineering, or the people that we've met. Because I don't know everybody plays video games, but a large portion of them that I've met, we'd be like speaking about a game, and it's like, oh, you play it too. Oh, give me your Discord. And then...
Exactly. That's how we
play a few games together, and then you get to know them, and then, we can play again tomorrow night. And then eventually turns into, oh, do you know how to do this question for the assignment? Or, oh, let's go out for lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're in this course as well. You want to grab lunch at wherever.
Yeah.
I'm
also sure you made a lot of friends through the aerospace club.
I did. Yes. Yeah. Clubs are a good way. Student clubs are a good way of meeting people. The aerospace club, I met Zach through the aerospace club.
Yeah.
And, well, I knew Zach, but I was acquainted with Zach, but I really...
Yeah, same, like you knew of him, but didn't
speak to him, but didn't speak to each other before.
It's the same situation, yeah?
Yeah. Especially when you have the same interests, it's very good to go to that club, meet people. I'd say the two big engineering clubs are... The biggest one is the motorsports club, but those people are kind of crazy. Not in a bad way. It's just in like the... how do you say this? The mentally unstable schizo engineer that type of way. Like I've seen them use a Monster Energy can as their catch can for their car, like the oil catch can. Engineering is engineering. What can I say? If it works, it works.
If it works, don't break it. If it works, don't break it.
Who cares if it's an on-race car? If it's a Monster Energy can and it catches all of the oil that comes out of the engine, it works.
Yeah, speaking about that, you just made me think of something else.
Yeah.
When in this degree or just in life, in more general, like if you're building something, you're designing something as an example, you come up with a design. Then you wait a few hours, you look at the design again, and I can make it better now.
Mm.
When does one get to a point where you tell yourself, okay, enough is enough. We don't need to change it more. We don't need to fix what's not broken. Because I found myself in this trap a lot, especially when designing things or doing a lot of programming. It's like, oh, we could add this feature. We should definitely add this feature. Then you add those two, and then you think, oh, but then we can also add this feature and this feature.
I see that in your work a lot.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of work put into it, but then the cost.
Yeah.
My understanding of it is that the cost of perfection is exponential.
Yeah.
So it's just got to be constant more work.
Because I personally can never get to a point where I feel it's good enough.
It's like
I only stop when either a deadline is met or somebody else tells me, you need to stop. Or I might look at some other people's projects and work and be like, okay, you know what, maybe we did too much. Need to stop now.
that's sort of the gauge I use as well.
I tend to have to get somebody else to get me to stop or a deadline. I can't personally. I find the self-control to do that really difficult, to just be like, okay, it's good enough.
Because no, it's never good enough. There's always stuff to improve.
There's always something you can make better.
It's like every project, especially with cars, It's like, oh, I can swap out the headers. Oh, I can swap out the headlights. Oh, the doors, the windows.
Before you know it, we have a completely different thing.
That's how people drop like $2 billion on a project car.
Yeah.
That applies to broader projects as well.
Yeah.
Coding projects. Oh, I can optimize this. I can optimize that. Engineering projects, when you're doing 3D design work, especially. Oh, I can save a bit of weight here and cut a hole here, save weight. The motor stuff that we did. I was cutting so many slots everywhere. And then at some point I was like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. I have to stop. Yeah. But I think I agree with you too. Personally, I look at other people's work. Let's say like out of all of the groups, we kind of did the most work. And I think like looking at the expectations of the professor.
Yeah, we met them.
We exceeded them.
Yeah, we call it a day now.
Yeah, call it a day.
Yeah.
Our friend group, our social circle really doesn't know how to stop.
Yeah, we have an issue.
The motor. It doesn't self-start.
We are going to get, I guess, maybe we can organize that group to come together one time. I'm not promising it, but
meeting the old gang coming back together.
But maybe we can get the motor group to come and guest on our podcast.
Yeah.
On the load-bearing-thoughts. We have a lot of stories that can be said from that.
Yeah, fun ones.
Painful ones.
Painfully fun.
Sleepless nights.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
But there's a lot that you guys can learn from that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes, with the clubs, there are two. Firstly, there's motorsport. And there's Aerospace Club, which is the one I'm a part of.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. We do fixed wing, which is like the conventional, big wing aircraft that flies around. We do rotary. So these are like helicopters or drones.
Yeah.
4 rotor, 8 rotors sometimes. No, not really, but 4 rotors. Yeah. And we also have a rocketry club. And just recently, they have launched their rocket in Calgary, I believe. And that is the first time any students have built a hybrid cluster of rockets. So they're making history. It's a cool club. If you're into aerospace, feel free to join. What other clubs are there for meeting people?
For meeting people?
Have you joined any or?
Clubs for meeting people. It's a complicated one.
Yeah. Well, how have you met people in our Discord server?
I tend to meet them by meeting them either in lecture or just around university.
Let's say like the gang who plays War Thunder. One of the guys who play War Thunder. Or the guy who we spoke to last night. How do you meet him?
How did I meet him? Oh, I met him through a lecture.
Lecture? Okay.
Yeah. It was an interesting one.
How do you guys get started? Or like, what was your first conversations? How do you?
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to really. I'm blanking right now on that.
You know what? If you ask me how,
I'm completely blanking on these questions right now.
If you ask me how I met you, I would not remember. It was like through the English project. I think.
Yeah. We were in the same group.
We were in the same group. We did the same project together. We really fucked each other. We're gonna have to.
Oh no! Oh no!
Really fucked each other. And yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
I mean, like in general, how you meet other people. That's how most of it happens.
Yeah.
Project and lectures.
Projects, lectures, labs. Labs, you guys will bond with your lab mates a bit.
Bond.
Maybe I shouldn't really use the word bond, but
you will interact, and it can either be bonding or
you don't like the person.
Or it
But
could
you will
be-
definitely be forced for at least an hour, 2 hours to be with potentially strangers because professors like just being like random people, groups made, go.
Yeah.
You get quite lucky if you get to be in a group with someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time you just end up with some strangers. But that's not a bad thing. I have met and became good friends with a few people that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think an important thing to note as well is your friend group or the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
This is a difficult one because the usual conventional advice is you want to surround yourself with people that you want to become, right?
Yeah.
However, what if you have a really good friend? He's a very questionable person. You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
He's a very questionable
I think I
person.
do.
But he's a funny guy. You know, he's a chill.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a really, really good guy.
He's
I
a
can't
chill
say that.
guy. He's a chill guy. He's just a real specimen. How do you deal with that? You know, I think.
But like also to some extent, like I personally believe that we can, push him to do better too. Like,
I don't think he wants to do better.
but that's another thing. It's all about a mindset as well.
Yeah.
It's all about a mindset. You have to be open to grow. You have to be open to explore new things, try new things. Because if your mindset is just going to be blocked off, not open to anything, you're not going to improve yourself at all.
And what I was getting at is if you do meet these people who are like, blocked off, all they want to do is play video games all day. They always call you to play video games. I plan to do assignments or I plan to go to my club meeting or whatnot at this specific time, and they keep calling me to play video games, and I constantly have to agree. Then set self boundaries. That's a tough
You have
lesson.
to be able to say no.
Yes, and
it
is
can be difficult.
It can be very difficult, especially if he's a good friend.
Yeah.
And he wants to play video games.
But the saying no part, that applies throughout life though. You need to be willing to say no, because I know that even myself included, there are times when I just can't bring myself to be like no.
Yeah, exactly.
But you need to do what's best for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not every time you're going to be able to say no, but you need to develop it over time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on it as well.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's a
year and a bit.
That's a thing that takes a bit of failure and experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think that is where should we end it.
Yeah, I think we've covered a good
Thank
amount
you
of
guys
stuff.
for tuning in to the Load Bearing Thoughts podcast, episode 2, called The High School vs. University, a reconstruction of your work system. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it enlightened some of you.
Hopefully we helped.
Yeah, made some lasting impacts. Can't wait to catch you guys in episode 3. Leave a comment down below or send us an email if you're listening on Spotify to loadbearingthoughts@gmail.com. I will link it in the description.
Engagement farming is crazy.
We got to get the engagement up. We have got to get the engagement up. But anyway, thank you guys. Check everything's recorded.
That was good.
That was really
That was
good.
so good.
That was a solid us being genuine.
Yeah. That was like real.